Montana, in the fictional county of Hope County, where a fanatical doomsday cult called the Project at Eden's Gate has overrun everything. They've kidnapped people. They've stolen all the land. The father, Joseph Seed, the leader of the cult, believes that the end of the world is coming, and so he's preparing his family for that inevitable collapse.
Now it looks pretty peaceful right now.
It is. Well, we're in Falls End, which is one of the communities, one of the towns in the game. It's just been liberated by Alex, who's playing the game.
Shout out to Alex, everybody.
Yeah.
In the Twitch chat, I want to see you throwing up the claps. Alex is over there. If he dies, give him the thumbs down.
Yeah, when we decided, we want to bring Far Cry to America, it's, there needs to be some level of believability. It needs to feel like the world is lived in. We're walking around the house here sort of showing a typical Americana. There's not a lot of people in the town right now because, like I said, they're all been kidnapped. And so it's up to the player.
That will bring down population.
Yeah, it's up to the player to sort of bring the communities back, build a resistance, build an army to fight against the cult.
Was it a tough decision for you guys to come to America?
I don't think so. It's something that the team has really been wanting to do for a while. The question really was, what's a space that feels Far Cry-ish?
Right.
We've been to Kairat. We've been to the islands in Far Cry 3.
We've gone back in time.
Yes, we have gone back in time to Primal. But I think trying to find a space that felt dangerous, a little bit unexplored.
Sure.
A place that just feels like a wilderness, like a frontier. That really is Montana. We sent a team up there to sort of do a little investigation, do some recon, and immediately they fell in love with it. They said, the people, the landscape, everything sort of feels very remote and Far Cry-ish. And then it became, okay, well, what's a cool villain that could sort of...
Well, that's what's fascinating for me, being a Far Cry fan, right, is the fact that I'm a fan of America as well. And I wanted you guys to do something here, but Far Cry doesn't work in Chicago.
Yeah.
What are you going to skin in Chicago to make a wall in? It doesn't, rats? That's not all we got.
Not a lot of bears, not a lot of wolves around Chicago.
But the rats are pretty big in Chicago.
Exactly, I know. Shout out to Boomer. There he is.
There he is. Good boy.
I have a little plush of him right here. You don't see it yet, but I'm petting it. There it is. Talk about Boomer. You have so many... I don't think there's been a Far Cry that's had a pre-release run-up like this that's had so many characters already identifiable, right?
Yeah. I think Far Cry in the past obviously has been it's been known for its villains, right? Frost, Pagan Min. It's very much been about you versus the villain. This time around, we wanted to bring the community into the fold, bring your friends, your allies, the people who are going to fight with you against this cult. How can we showcase them? Building people like Mary May, who owns the Spread Eagle, that will walk.
Has she thought about changing the name?
Well,
because it's a great name, but it does. There's a connotation to it that I don't.
But the thing is, it's that sort of, the bar was named by her father, who wasn't maybe the most PC guy, maybe a bit of a misogynist, a bit of an asshole. But the thing is, you talk to Mary in the game, you get a bit more of her backstory, and I think for her, she's like, I hate the name of this bar, I think it's stupid.
Nice.
But at the same time, it's part of my dad, so that conflict of if I change the name, am I sort of getting rid of something?
Yeah, exactly.
People are complicated, people are complex.
And so that's her. Wait, who's Casey Segal?
Casey Segal is the cook of the Spread Eagle.
You guys are the worst. So if Nick Scarpino was watching this, he'd be, I'm just the cook.
Casey,
lowly cook.
Casey will give you some recipes. He'll send you on some hunting missions. And he'll also drop some wisdom bombs.
Does he talk? Does he do the I'm just the cook? The lowly cook line?
He's just a cook.
All right, okay. But does he say it? I want him to say it at some point in this video. Don't ruin the whole thing. I got to buy it. When it comes out next.
Doesn't matter if he says it. He's got the hair.
So, Mary's role is giving out quests, keeping you ingrained. But she's one of your partners too. Yes.
She's one of the members of the community. She's one of the community leaders. So. The people that you meet in the game, they're all a member of the Resistance, right? They're all sort of trying to fight back against the cult. Mary, Pastor Jerome, they're sort of sending you out on quests to say, hey, people have been kidnapped, or we need these convoys taken down, or I need a truck my dad's truck taken back. Then there's guns for hire that you'll meet as you explore the world. People like Grace Armstrong or Nick Rye, who showed off in
So what's the difference between Resistance and Guns for Hire?
The Guns for Hire are part of the Resistance, but the thing is, the Guns for Hire, they're going to be your persistent buddies throughout the world. Okay. So Mary and Jerome are always going to stick around Falls End.
Drew, you shut up now. Look who it is. It's Jerome Jeffries, everybody.
Yeah,
round of applause.
baby.
Martin Roach making his debut here.
Yeah, baby.
Testament, wrath, fury, vengeance, we saw it all.
That's you.
But
You did
I hope
that.
there's compassion in you too. That's a beautiful voice.
I can't tell if Pastor Jerome would have made me go to church more or made me go to church less. If he greeted me with a shotgun at the door.
No, see, he's not about making you go to church. He's just making you think about it.
Okay, that's all he wants to do.
Spiritual things, shall we say.
Where do we find Pastor right now?
Where do you find right now? This is his church.
Yeah.
This is his place. But unfortunately, as you can see, it's been devastated.
Yeah.
This place has been looted, desecrated. Everybody's been kidnapped. So now he's at the place where he's fighting back.
Okay.
He didn't want to be here. This was the fight that was brought to him.
How far do you go to get into that headspace, Martin? I mean, like, is the backstory? What is the backstory for the pastor?
I fight that every day.
Oh God.
No. To get the backstory for him, we go back 20 years, I guess.
Oh wow.
Back to the first Gulf War. What he is, he's a vet. Comes home, he wants to find some peace, find a place. A lot of vets don't find that, so he goes to a place where he can find it. The wide opens of Montana, and then here comes this cult, and they're slowly ripping it away. They're ripping away his community. He's helped build his community. He's one of the leaders. He's not going to let it slip.
Sure.
He's going to be the guy that says, all right, I don't want to have to do this, but I will take up a gun again. I know how to do this. I don't want to, but I know how to, and I can help lead these people back to the real world.
When we met Pastor Jerome in the trailer, right, that was one of the most powerful things of him reading the Bible, pulling out the gun, and like he had to go protect his flock. I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was
protecting
sort of
his flock.
The inspiration for the character, right, where we have Joseph Seed, we have a guy who's sort of taking religion, taking scripture, twisting it for his own, and sort of warping the message.
Sure.
So, we wanted to say, okay, well, we need the opposite of that. And we need someone that's sort of a positive force of good.
Here's the other side.
Yeah. And I think, when you look at a character and you say, okay, well, what are the complexities we can give to him? Having a man of God who, because of how far he's been pushed, says, you know what, I'm willing to sacrifice my own soul to save the people that I've been trying to look out for.
Absolutely.
To run back to the demons you ran away from is pretty cool.
Exactly.
That's cool. Is that fun to play?
It's incredibly fun to play.
Yeah.
Because you got to dig. You got to dig sometimes. Sometimes I say something, and I just hear Drew on the line go, okay, that's good, but I need to believe it more. I need a little more. So dig a little deeper.
Alex is fixated on this truck, and I have to say my eyes are drawn to it as well.
The Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker. Yeah. Oh, now, I like the bobblehead.
A little
bobblehead. Nice.
I like the skirt that he's wearing.
Of course,
Bringing new vehicles into Far Cry 5, big part of it. It's America, right? We want big monster trucks.
It's Far Cry, all right. It's still Far Cry. We talk about the pastor and his demons, and then the big rig does a 360 after running over a barricade. All right.
That's the anecdote factory at work. So we see a bit of the cult up here. They're roaming the countryside. They're going into towns. They're taking people hostage and executing them.
And Alex is going to take them out.
Oh, he's going to throw some bait. So, I mean, this is just the kind of stuff, as you're exploring the world, you're meeting people. There's a bear that's now showing up.
Is that a bear?
Yeah, that's a bear. It's a bear.
It's Far Cry. It's still very much Far Cry.
Anything can happen.
That would just be a rat in Chicago, so it makes sense, why you're running over here doing this.
No, but, as you explore the world, these are the sort of encounters that you're going to find. Nothing's sort of scripted. Everything's systemic.
Well, that's always been the power of Far Cry, right?
Exactly.
Where, it is the fact that you guys, I think, are, make what a sandbox game, what you make sandbox games that are fun to play because that is the story.
Yeah,
we can all go off and do the same mission, the same objective, but we're all going to do different ways and have different things along the way.
It's about giving the players all the tools to sort of really just go off and cause as much mayhem and havoc as they want.
Right.
Boomer just steal a gun for you? Nice.
Dang right he did. That's what Boomer's all about.
Gives everybody the freedom.
But yeah, so the world, we wanted to focus on a more non-linear approach with the story this time. So we had talked to Mary May earlier, who had mentioned that Nick Rye, who lives down the road, was having some trouble with the cult. Maybe you want to go check on him. We're not guiding the player this time around in terms of you've got to do this mission, then this mission.
So the objectives are just like in any order you want?
Yeah, and the thing is, like with Fall's End, this could be one of the first places that you go to in the game. It could be one of the very last.
Gotcha.
After the opening of the game, you're sort of dropped in the middle of the map, and you're just okay, just go
where
meet
you
people,
want.
Go explore. Yeah, go figure out, build your resistance the way that you want to take down Joseph Seed in the cult.
Interesting. So that if there's no real way to be like how far into the game are you right now?
Yeah,
you can tackle this in any order. Interesting.
So yeah, Nick's having a bit of a trouble at his airfield. The cult has come in here. Nick's wife is pregnant with child.
Okay.
She's
Nick was the guy with the crop duster from the
yeah,
trailers,
exactly,
right?
exactly. So he's got a plane. He's trying to figure out a way to get his family to safety, right? And the cult, like I said, Joseph Seed believes that every single soul in Hope County has to be to be a part of the cult, to be put into their bunkers to save themselves from this coming collapse.
The power of
and
rumor.
A lot of people don't like being in a cult.
Yeah.
So they're going to fight back.
There we
so
go.
We took care of that problem.
I love what Boomer just did there. Goes up and takes the badass gun and brings it to you. That's just
That's what he's all
that's
about.
perfect.
And there's Nick.
So then Nick is part of the resistance.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Just like Pastor, just like
Yes.
Mary. Okay.
And the thing, you do a couple quests for Nick. Yeah, you prove that, you're willing to fight for him, and he says, okay, you know what, I'm going to be on your side. I've got a plane. I'll be able to sort of take this guys and watch your back.
Nice.
Yeah.
But for right now, Nick has this plan that he's going to fight back at the cult, blow up some silos where they're sort of storing some explosives.
Mm-hmm.
But again, his wife is like, you're not going to stick your neck out there. That's too stupid. So he talks to you and says, you know what, maybe you want to take care of that problem for me? Go
Alex,
fly
be
my
careful.
plane.
Hold on. We got wolves. We got wolves. Good job, Alex.
There we go. Yep. So there's Nick's plane. But I think for that, we might go do a little fishing.
See, and this is one of the things you got when I was talking before. You have such diverse landscapes, and now you have to come up with what kind of animals would be out here.
Yeah.
Fishing's brand new.
Yep.
What else do you have in terms of everything else that's happening?
I mean, it's fishing, hunting, giving the player sort of. Far Cry is all about big action all the time, like there's insanity happening every minute. But at the same time, when you talk about Montana, the wildlife, we wanted to give the player the ability to sort of hang out in nature, have a good time, something a little bit more relaxing than just murdering everything.
Always killing everything, worrying about what's going to get you from behind.
So we decided, we're going to throw fishing in. It's a big part of sort of the culture in Montana and culture, just sort of that frontier lifestyle.
It's a way to just come here and decompress, relax,
yeah,
talk it out with your friends.
The minute the fishing went in, everyone became obsessed about it.
Oh, really?
There's fishing tournaments back at the office. We've got a fishing tournament here at PAX. People are trying to catch the biggest fish to win some of the flag pins, and people are going nuts.
Well, it's just who doesn't love to fish?
Yeah.
Well, hey, every now and then you want to put down the stick of dynamite and pick up a fishing rod.
Yeah. Or throw the stick of dynamite in there and make it easier to get the fish.
Dynamite in the net will travel.
While we chill out here on the riverbank, I've been passed audience questions. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, sure, man.
Drew, the first one's for you.
Uh-oh.
Bobby writes in and says, what inspired the team to do this one in the USA?
I think bringing Far Cry to the U.S. was something the team's been wanting to do for quite some time.
Yeah.
It just never. It always. The question came back to believability, right?
Sure.
Like, does it make sense? How could you set up Far Cry in the U.S.? So I think it was probably around 3 or 4 years ago that it started in earnest. Okay, we're going to set a Far Cry in the United States, and it just built from there, right? And I think that the sort of the current times that we live in. And the current state of things, all of a sudden, Far Cry in the U.S. seems way more believable than
of course, right. There's definitely two sides of it everywhere now. You know what I mean? Was Montana the first and only choice, or what? Did you guys toy around with the idea of a city?
There were a couple different ideas on where to take it, but like I said, the minute the team went to Montana, it was like, oh no, this is it. So there's some other ideas in the back pocket, but we'll save those for later.
Those went away real quick.
Yeah, it really did.
All right, Martin. VIRAGOXV535 writes in and says, is that your natural vocalization, or did you rehearse to master a priest tone?
What do you think? That's my natural vocalization. It is pretty close to my natural vocalization.
You seem so happy and lucky. You're so happy-go-lucky right now, then.
Yeah, right now. But basically this way. He's a big authoritarian.
Yeah.
I'm a father, so I got to put on that kind of voice from time to time.
Sure, dad voice comes out.
Oh, absolutely. You got to lay it down.
Yeah.
And Pastor lays it down.
How long have you been laying it down for with your kids?
I've been laying it down for 18 years.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah.
That is a natural voice at this point. Yeah, you understand.
I just do it.
Yeah. And then for everybody, Lorem Gillespie III writes in and says, do you prep for voice recording with other actors? So is it an ensemble thing, or is it mainly you guys alone?
Most in the booth, it's usually just us alone.
Okay.
I'm in the booth, and somebody's on the other side. Maybe Drew, maybe somebody else. Maybe he's in another city. So he has me say a line 18 million times
and scream like you're on fire.
Exactly.
Just keep
scream like I'm
screaming.
on
I'll
fire.
tell you when to stop.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really an easy process.
Yeah.
But we work together when we go to the actual studio. Then I'm going to work with 2 or 3 actors at the same time, and it's kind of like doing a play.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the studios. It's actually a really
Drew,
cool process.
How do you guys capture and record everything? Are you doing it in booth, but when you go somewhere and they're together, are they doing the mocap
Yeah, so
stuff?
it's split between like, sort of like in gameplay stuff. So what we saw when we saw Jerome earlier, that's all VO booth. That's Martin in the booth, sort of just reading a list of lines. The cinematics then are all mocap, right? And we have our big mocap studio in Toronto. Where we suit everyone up in the mocap suits with the little balls and put a giant Vice headset on them and shine
really easy to act in, isn't it?
And then say act natural.
Yeah,
very natural. You don't notice it.
Hey, in your leotard right now, act like a big bad
exactly.
pastor. Here's
yes,
this.
and the leotard that tells no tales. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Here's this broom handle. It's a shotgun, and go axe.
Exactly. And go. Really? Really? In that studio, what did we use for the Bible? It was like a block of wood and plastic.
Of wood.
And they're like, no, this is it. This opens
with a
up.
fake gun on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, it's, everything. We spend a lot of time, props or sort of set pieces in the game, making sure that there's stuff that the actors can interact with because they've got all this equipment on.
Yeah.
The more things you can give to them that sort of use their imagination to pretend, the better the performance is.
I got to bring this down.
But it's got because of all the cameras that you're in the space, everything sort of has to be like a wire version of it because the camera's got to sort of pick up all the data on where the body is at any given time.
Final question before I let you guys stop fishing.
Yeah.
Do you do the voice recording separate? It's just, Martin in a booth because of the fact he's communicating to me, the player, so I'm looking at him. Like, I feel like it makes sense when I think about it of course, cinematics, it's ensemble, everybody, but when you're talking or giving me a mission, it's just me.
Yeah. The player doesn't, the player has no voice this time around.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to create a character that people really could sort of inhabit as their own avatar. So there is a lot of just sort of the actor just speaking to the character. And it's a writing challenge as well because, trying to figure out how you're moving a story along or how you're moving a scene along when there's really just one character driving it. Yeah. That's been probably the biggest challenge that I've had.
Okay. Well, here we go.
It's tough to wrap that around your head in the booth, too. You're like, okay, what am I trying to do? Because usually when you're talking with somebody, you get it. But you're just like, what am I? Yeah. Okay, no, I'm motivated. I'm telling him to do this. I'm asking him to do this. I'm begging.
Do you like that challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like any challenge. Anytime I'm uncomfortable, I'm pretty happy. You don't know what's... No, well, that's what we do.
Yeah.
If I'm comfortable all the time, I'm kind of bored.
You're doing something,
Yeah,
that's true.
That's smart.
Then anybody could be doing it.
Right.
I want to be the only guy that should be doing it.
How uncomfortable can I make you?
All
right, what's going on here, Drew? What's going on here?
We're in a plane.
This is
finally
new.
took Nick's plane. Yes. First time in Far Cry 5, or first time for Far Cry.
The series, right?
The series, yes, exactly. We're bringing sky combat, big planes, jets. We've got this sort of seaplane here that Nick has given to us. It's got machine guns on it. It's got rockets. You can drop bombs on these little silos. So earlier on, we met Nick, and he was like, "Hey, go blow up these silos."
My wife won't let me go fight the resistance,
I won't do it.
or fight for the resistance.
And so, again, it's sort of the structure of the game, right? Like Nick told us he had this quest for us. And we could have gone, off exploring. The quest is sort of waiting for us,
of course,
to pick it up and go do it.
It's also a great view of like how different what you guys have going in Montana right now.
In this region, it's a lot of farmland. It's a lot of typical stuff that you might see in sort of the countryside. But the topography is way different. Like if you go to the north, it's much more mountainous, much more forest. It feels more. Gameplay-wise, feels maybe kind of more along the lines of like Primal, which it's a lot of hunting, it's a lot of stealth. There's the other regions that
I'm sorry. What is this on the left? What is the level?
That is the resistance meter. So again, because it's a non-linear game, we were trying to come up with a way with how do I feel like I'm giving a progression to the game.
Okay.
Right? So we said, okay, from the outset, you're trying to build up your resistance in each region that you find. So as you're meeting people like Mary and Pastor Jerome, you're doing quests for them, or you're taking out outposts, what you're doing is you're building your resistance.
Gotcha.
So more people are going to show up to fight on your side.
Okay.
You're going to have more access to new guns for hire to fight alongside you. And at the same time, the cult's going to start to react to that's how we're sort of inserting our bad guys this time around. Rather than saying go play this story mission, I'm going out, I'm clearing an outpost, and if that raises my resistance meter to a point where the cult notices me, now all of a sudden the bad guys go, no, we're not having this.
Interesting. Okay.
They're going to show up and insert themselves into your story.
Now, when I get the plane here, do I have access to it the rest of the game? Can I just run around and use it whenever I want to?
Yeah, you could. You could take this plane, fly all the way up to the north, hang out with.
So does this completely change taking down outposts? Because I feel
Yeah,
like now I can just come. If I want to stealth, if I want to do whatever.
Yes, exactly. So you can take a plane around, you can bomb some guys. But the thing is, because there's a lot more interior space.
This song, yeah, you feel it too, Pax. But I have the gameplay change of being able to shoot everything and blow it up, which seems awesome. But does the fact that water is a bigger part of it, that trees are a bigger part of it, is there more to it in that respect in terms of how to use the topography?
Yeah, when you get up to the north, where it's much more mountainous, much more forest, you're going to have a bit more harder time navigating with the plane, right? And trying to all those guys are sort of hiding out on the bottom of the ground. You're going to have to get on the ground, go a little more hand to hand. On-foot combat. But here, we wanted to showcase the plane combat. We've got AI that are also flying around. This guy's one of the chosen.
Okay, he's got
the elite soldiers of the cult. They've been trained to defend the cult.
These are the
there's levels to the cult. The people I meet on the street aren't the chosen. This guy's super soldier.
So there's cult followers that you'll find.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, there's chosen. There's special elite guys. As you progress through the game, as you build your resistance, the chosen are going to start showing up more and more, and they're much tougher, much more accurate. They've got a lot more tools at their disposal to take you down.
And now you put him down on the baseball field. Gamescom demo. This is PAX. This game sucks. That's it. It doesn't even respect where it's at. I can't believe it. Oh, my God.
There we go. That's how you take out the chosen. Nice job.
Good job, Alex. We're very proud of you.